Welcome back, everybody. Today we are talking about the newest big Netflix release. My cat is just staring into my soul from the window right now. We're talking about the biggest Netflix release, Extraction 2, starring Chris Hemsworth. It is directed again by Sam Hargrave, and this time we picked up right where we left off, with Chris Hemsworth being shot in the neck and falling off a bridge and apparently left for dead. But somehow he washes up on shore, somehow he survives, somehow he goes into a coma, he gets rehabbed, and guess who turns up in the middle of his desolate cabin but Idris Elba, and he hires him to get a Georgian gangster's family out of prison. Now, the Georgian gangster is in prison and takes his family with him, and Chris Hemsworth's ex-wife is that wife's sister and wants her sister out of jail because the husband is abusive and controlling, and so he's hired to get the family out of prison. Meanwhile, this Georgian gangster is in prison and his brother is out of prison, and they basically run the country, and they have a whole army of dudes that come after them once things start going down. Now, the first Extraction movie came out in 2020. It was enjoyable. It was the perfect Netflix movie. I was thinking about it, and I was wondering if this movie would do good in theaters. We do live in an age of, Nobody and John Wick, and I know Nobody came out, in the height of the pandemic, so it's tough to judge that box office, but we're on John Wick 4, and so I feel like it could do well. Like I said, this is the perfect Netflix movie. Just last night, there's so much in theaters right now. We've got Elemental, we've got Flash, we've got Asteroid City, we've got The Blackening. Those are 4 big theatrical releases, and I just couldn't, I streamed all night last night, and I was like, I just kind of feel like watching something on the couch. So that was perfect. It was perfect for me just to sit down in my living room and put on Extraction 2, and it was a grand old time. But I do wonder, because there is a lot of craft and a lot of great choreography and a lot of great action set pieces in this movie, just like John Wick 4, if this would do well. And I think it would. I don't know what the budget is on this movie. Let me look. I'm on the IMDb page right now, as always. The budget... Oh, it doesn't have the budget. Ooh, it doesn't have the budget. It is Netflix, so, they keep that stuff under wraps. I guess this budget was close to $100 million. And, so was the last John Wick. I feel like they're equal. Granted, John Wick, I think, looks a lot better. Just with, the lighting and everything like that. But, I don't know. I think this movie would have done well. But let's start with the movie. And I did have a good time with this one. Now, the big part of the first Extraction was that long car chase one take when he's getting the kid out in the first part of the movie, and they replicate that again at the very beginning of the Extraction. Basically, the entire Georgian prison, I think there's one cut in the middle of it, and then after that, it's just all one take. One take. I know there's hidden cuts. And I'm kind of conflicted on that, to where, I appreciate everything that they're trying to do with the one take thing, but I feel like sometimes the movie feels beholden to it. And I felt like that in John Wick 4 too, where sometimes the stuntmen are waiting for Keanu Reeves, and that's not really an insult. Keanu Reeves is, getting up there in his 50s, so he's trying to keep up, but you could tell, someone okay, go. Sometimes like that. And it wasn't as evident in this movie, but especially there's a car chase part of the one take where everything looks a little more CGI, a little less realistic. And for me, it was I don't need a Quantum of Solace billion cuts or anything like that. But I also don't need the one take. If you need to cut to set up a good action shot, a good car crash, I'm okay with that. I don't think it would take away any of the artistry of the movie if there were cuts certain places. But this is the director's vision, and I think they did a good job. This isn't an insult, but I just do feel like sometimes movies are oh, we need a good one take here, and everything needs to be perfectly choreographed. Oh, that was a little slow. Oh, that was our best take, though. We'll use that. And it felt like that in some moments here. But I do feel like the whole prison riot part was great. Very well choreographed. Chris Hemsworth really kills the action choreography in this, and it makes me sad that we never really get that in Thor. And I think it's just because, like, you know, he's always fighting like CGI monsters or whatever. And so he really, I don't know if he just like slimmed down for this movie, so he's much more agile, but he's kicking a lot of butt in this movie, and in a great way, where there's a lot going on and everyone is keeping up, everyone is keeping pace. And I will say that first action set piece really blew me away. And I know I'm talking about like the different, you know, the one takes, like, sometimes, but it's not a detriment to the movie. Just sometimes I'm just like, you know what, you could have used a cut there. Because I'm telling you that it's about 15 minutes of like one take. There's one cut right in the middle, right before the prison riot scene, and then that's it. And then all the way through the end of the action set piece, like, it's insane. I do feel like they did a better job with the characters in this movie as well. Like, I do care about the wife and her kids. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe it says something that I just can't remember their names. I think it's Nina. But this is also like IMDb is so bad at like doing the cast list of movies that just came out. And so, like literally none of these actors have pictures on their IMDb, so I can't really see. So maybe that's saying something. I know Olga Kurylenko is in this as well, and she's a great actor. But I do want to shout out both Adam Besa and Golshifteh Farahani. I practiced that name before this review, so I would nail it, and I think I did. They kick as much ass as Chris Hemsworth does, and my biggest criticism about this movie is the final action set piece, the finale going up against the big bad. I feel like the setup was very poorly handled, and I don't want to get into it because of spoilers, but a certain character who has kicked all the ass suddenly is very bad just so Chris Hemsworth can fight the final boss and not this character. And I don't understand it whatsoever. It made absolutely zero sense. They just shouldn't have been in the scene at all, and it would have been better. And I understand with the ending of the movie why they're in this, but still, bad setup to a really great action movie. I don't know if this is going to be an all-time action movie. I don't know. I probably will revisit it. At least, you know, see the clips on YouTube or something like that, because I'm telling you, the prison action scene was amazing. And the final set piece, like the pre-final set piece of like this big high tower, either fighting on like the edge of the building, all glass. It was great. Some of the green screen, some of the CGI, not great. It doesn't hold up already, and that's sad to see. But the green screen I'm talking about, you know, I just talked about Mission Impossible, and somehow that green screen of the train holds up better than this green screen on the train, and it just came out. So, I don't know. It's weird to me, but I understand why they're using green screen. It felt like this wasn't a, you know, Marvel situation where it's like, oh, we're in a bar. Just make it a green room. I don't want to build a bar. I don't want to go on set. I just want to do this. They went to sets, they went to locations, but obviously if you're on a speeding train with helicopters shooting missiles at you, you're going to use a green screen, and I'm totally okay with that. Overall, big recommend for this. I do wish I would have seen this in a theater, but a strong Netflix recommendation for this one, guys. If you've got Netflix, definitely check it out. Extraction 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for my patrons for seeing this video early. If you guys aren't on Patreon, I'm doing all the Mission Impossible revisits up to Dead Reckoning. Plus I do trailer reactions, all that good stuff. Check it out. Bye-bye.